Astral Authority came in and won the first, third, and fourth weeks of the Challengers Cup. So they came in very dominant. The second week was won by a team that is not here. But Most Wanted, when they faced off against Astral, it's been 2-0s for Astral. So it's really up to Most Wanted to fight this uphill battle.
Some specific bans coming out already. Odin for Astral and Freya for Most Wanted. That Freya ban targeted at Cliff, the ADC for Astral Authority, really likes this Freya.
Definitely. Odin Amaterasu banned out by Astral because Most Wanted, they can take anything and put that into the solo lane. Both Aquarius and Mango have very wide god pools, and you just want to go ahead and start banning out immediately. Guan Yu going to be the first pickup for Astral, though.
It's feeling like I'm right at home with my console brethren. First pick, Guan Yu, going to leave open the very potent Erlong Ra combination. Astral electing to go for the Guan Yu here. With the Odin ban, I really was expecting a Ra first pick or possibly even Erlong Shen. Instead, they go for the Warrior healer and leave up the Mage and the Warrior.
Yes, but Ao Kwang has been picked up for Astral, and that is huge because Fine OK, if there's one thing that Gormizer and I talked about when we were casting, it's do not give Ao Kwang to Fine OK.
But, I mean, Most Wanted's composition right now is looking really strong. Data Remember, the Hunter player for Most Wanted, very much known for his Jingwei play. And, of course, with this Erlong Shen Ra combination that we've seen so much success with during the online or the offline group stages here at LAN over the course of October, it's going to be tough for Astral to fight into that.
And we've seen these gods before. Like you mentioned, Jingwei is a very big Data Remember god, but we've also seen Erlang Shen just be tossed back and forth as support, as jungler, and as solo laner. So a very nice flex pick can go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, would not be surprised to see Nick Hero take this into the support role for Most Wanted. That's what Eager did, that's what Sword did, and I kind of expect Most Wanted to do the same. Now we're waiting for their bans. I'm assuming they're going to be targeting out the mid lane here for Astral Authority, and if they've done their homework, it should be a Cupid ban for the mid lane. Yes, I know it doesn't really make sense, but apparently Sheikah really, really likes to run this. Kiki also a big component of it, but hasn't seen a lot of success with it here on LAN. Sheikah may try and change that around.
He likes his Cupid. He likes bringing ADCs in as well. So Hu Yi, we've seen a little bit of action with him. He'll go back to mages occasionally, but he really likes bringing Cupid, Hu Yi. We've seen Jingwei off of him before as well, but Ra more than likely going to be going to Cliff since they couldn't shake out that Freya.
Well, I like the ADC in the mid lane whenever you've got the Ao Kwang. Since Fine OK plays so much of this magical jungler, pairing it up with a physical hunter in the middle lane definitely keeps your team composition well-rounded and lets you do a lot more flexible picks in the mid lane, like a Cupid or a Hu Yi or something along those lines.
Bastet, we don't see a lot of her in the SPL, but we do see a lot of her in the Challengers Cup. Bastet, a nice ban against Most Wanted, who we have seen Plasma take into the jungle. He likes Nemesis, he likes Rat, he likes Susano. Rat's been banned out, Bastet's been banned out, but Susano's still on the table.
But it's going to be Nemesis here, going to be the locked in right away for Plasma, just trying to set up that Erlong Shen Ra combination. Giannis being hovered right now for Sheikah in the mid lane, still looking for some mobility and some CC. Astral is really lacking in the CC department, which is one of the reasons I think we see Most Wanted ban away Agni, the premier CC mid laner, basically. If Sheikah wants to play a hunter in the mid lane like we've been talking about, I feel like Neath would be a really strong pickup here. But Giannis does provide a lot of mobility to the team, does provide a little bit of CC, but not exactly what you're looking for when you're lacking CC.
You got that self-peel for yourself coming out from Giannis as well, so Sheikah going to be able to keep the enemy team off of him, especially Nemesis, who likes to get into close quarters, but Arachne is being hovered over for Most Wanted.
I can't see them picking Arachne here. They're still looking for either their support or solo laner, depending on where they're going to put this Erlong Shen. Hovering over Bacchus tells me that it's going to be Erlong Shen in the solo lane if they lock this in. Guan Yu going to be the solo laner for Astral Authority, it looks like. Or no, excuse me, Guan Yu going to be the support for Astral Authority with Vamana in the solo lane. So there's the Bacchus locked in. Very surprised we don't see a Sobek there. I think Sobek would have really worked well with Most Wanted's team composition, really shutting down a lot of the healing coming out of Vamana and the lifesteal from Ram, and Guan Yu, the healing from him as well. Bacchus does have healing reduction in his kit, but it's not as strong as Sobek's.
Sobek works well for this comp, but Nick Caro has three very premier good gods, Terra, Bacchus, and Fafnir, so I'm not surprised to see that comfort pick come out. They're on the stage at LAN. This is really new for them, and this is the big league, so they want to fall back to things that they're used to.
For sure, and we're seeing a lot of that across the board. You mentioned Ao Kwang for Fine OK, Giannis for Sheikah, and then on the other side, you've got Jingwei for Data Remember. You've got Nemesis for Plasma, and then,
Yep.
like you mentioned right there, Bacchus for Nick Hero. So I like both team compositions here, but we've just seen so much success between this Erlong Shen Ra combination that it's going to be really tough for Astral to fight into that. But I love the Giannis pickup for the ability to get into Ra's face. I talk about it all the time up against Ra. If you let him sit in the back and heal his team and snipe you from a distance, it's nearly impossible to deal with him. But if you can just get into his face, if you can teleport Ao Kuang and Guan Yu and Giannis right up into his grill, he can't really move around very well. It's tough for him to do what he wants.
How do you feel about the Ao Kuang pick into the Raw, though? Because he's not really going to be able to get away. That passive going to help him get a little bit of extra speed, but it's not really going to help you get quick away.
No, but you can juke around in the heal, and it's going to be difficult for Ao Kuang to find the executes that he wants, fighting through that Solar Blessing. Mango actually gets pinned early on here, but not going to be able to find it Will most wanted. That's actually a win for Astral Authority because Aquarius picking up the pin level 1 on Erlong Shen slows down his clear. His first ability is much faster at clearing buff camps, and so this is going to mean that most wanted's already poor clear with the Nemesis is going to be even worse now.
And normally in the Challengers Cup games at home, we see them be very aggressive. They want to go in for invades, want to try to find an early pick, take as many buffs as you can find. And here, normally when they get to the big stage, when they get to land, they kind of fall back on that. So it's nice to see some of that early aggression coming out from Most Wanted, even though it might not necessarily work for Aquarius this early on.
I'd like to see Astral Authority actually think about invading right now. With Vamana having the Wrath available and Aquarius picking up the teleport, I wouldn't be surprised if they look towards the blue buff. They could go blue to blue, they could go mid camps to blue, something along those lines. However, Most Wanted looks like they've warded up that speed buff on the side of Astral Authority, so it's going to be difficult for them to catch Most Wanted off guard.
It's right there. They know what relics they started with. They know whatever they bought first. They know the exact pathing that they're going to be able to go to. So at that point, it's better to go ahead and back off. More than likely, they knew that's why they were pushing so far forward, just to go ahead and get that deep ward in.
But it's going to be Astral Authority looking to make plays on the enemy buffs as they start to respawn. This first blue buff timer, you know Vamana is going to be there waiting for it with that Wrath. No surprise otherwise, I think, on the relics. Sanctuary coming out of Sheikah in the mid lane, a little bit surprising, but I don't hate it by any means. I mean, Purification really only would have helped you up against the slows from Nemesis, the pin and knock up from Erlong, and then the knock up and intoxicate from Bacchus.
There was a lot of talk yesterday about the fire elementals and just the benefits of grabbing them early on. It's small, but that starts to stack up, and then you realize, oh crap, the enemy laner is a level above me, and I don't know how they got there. So putting the priority on that is great for Astral.
Without a doubt. Getting Vamana those early gremlins is going to help his laning phase out a lot. Once he gets the levels online, he gets to insta-clear, basically, with either Umbrella Rang or Armored Umbrella. Whatever he chooses to level, you can really go for either one. And then he can use the others to really poke out the enemy solo laner. Aquarius, though, on this Erlong Shen, I mean, this is the premier lane bully right now. He is taking a lot of damage from minions, not clearing all the way those archers, puts significant poke onto Mango, but he's going to have the potions to heal up.
Both these laners are going to be able to back off. Just heal up a little bit, clear out once again, but Aquarius still wants to go aggressive, finding the pin, but Mango going to be able to dash out just fine. But at this point, it's anybody's lane right now.
Yeah, this is very close, but this is favoring Aquarius overall because he does have the teleport, whereas Mango went for the Wrath. So Mango not going to be able to, go back to base and just come back all healed up. FineOK recognizes that there's a lot of pressure going on in the solo lane, so he comes over to say hello, see what's going on. Aquarius doesn't seem to know that he's here.
No, I don't see any wards in the jungle, so at this point, FineOK is going to be able to slip right in the back. Mango being a nice, tasty target, but Aquarius going to be right there, and with that hit, FineOK going to be able to find the first blood for Astral.
Best case scenario right now for Astral Authority. Getting Ao Kuang this first blood in the solo lane puts him in a great spot to accelerate towards that potent late game that we always talk about with Ao Kuang. The faster you can get those items online, the faster he's going to be able to one-shot you, basically. And Aquarius just doesn't have the same sort of game sense that we see a lot of solo laners have so far in this group stage. They'll usually be smelling out these ganks. They'll know they're coming, but that time Aquarius didn't, pushes up, uses his 72 transformations to continue to poke out Mango, and as soon as he did that, he was dead.
That 2-minute mark, these camps are down. The junglers, if they want to start roaming, that's the time. That's when you need to back off, make sure you have coverage, and if you don't, stay safe. Play it safe.
Plus, this is going to open up invades on this right-hand side, going to be able to let Mango rotate aggressively and use that Wrath for exactly what he wants to do, and that's invade your buffs on the right side. FineOK spending time on the right side yet again. There's 72 transformations, but he misses the Wild Storm. using the Purification, looking for the execute in time, and he's going to get it. Final K starts off the game 2-0 in 3 minutes.
And he thought that the ultimate, the taunt, was going to be able to heal himself up in a couple of seconds. He just had to stay alive long enough, and you saw him put on his juke shoes, but it wasn't enough because the execute, no matter how much health you have, if you are under that threshold, you are going to die.
This is bad news for Most Wanted. We've seen how much work Vamana can put in when he gets a little bit of a lead in the solo lane. One of the highest winning solo laners during the offline LAN stages here in October that we've seen throughout all 4 groups, basically. And now Mango sitting a level up in about 400 gold. Only has the 2 assists, but he's perfectly fine with that. Giving those 2 kills to his hyper carry jungler is definitely okay with Mango.
So fine, okay. If you're this Ao Kuang, do you want to keep camping over in the solo, or do you want to start rotating around, trying to stifle up that duo lane?
I'm totally fine with continuing to spend time in the solo lane right now. Yes, we've gotten 2 kills over there, but the Gremlins are still spawning for another 6 minutes. You're going to be able to abuse that situation, able to pick those up, put you and Mango continually ahead. Once the 10-minute mark hits, though, that's when I'd like to see Final K really spend more time in the mid lane. But he's still got, 5.5 minutes of time to abuse Aquarius in the solo.
I'm liking the deep wards on the right side being dropped by Astral. They have complete vision of where Aquarius is going. They know if he's going to go rotate towards mid. They know if he's going to go for his buff. That's the biggest thing, and getting the timers on that as well, because Astral weren't able to steal it, even though they had that opening.
Exactly. You want to be getting those timers so you can make an impact with that Wrath, even if you haven't been able to yet. It's going to be coming up in more than enough time to steal that speed buff if Astral Authority decide they want to do that.
Other than that, pretty much a stalemate. Aquarius playing a lot safer and a lot deeper in that tower. Currently, Mango, the big baby, a little too intimidating. Plus, there's always the danger of Fino K lurking in the jungle.
So this is what Vamana can do so well. You see how quickly he clears that wave, and now he can really either decide to put pressure on this tower or rotate towards middle lane and make an impact there. Astral Authority assumes he's coming over, and they're posturing around the Gold Fury because of the ward coverage that they have. Most Wanted has to respect the fact that Astral could pull the Gold Fury at any time.
Exactly, and that's the last thing you want to do. Astral, they want it, but Most Wanted could not let this game get any more out of control. We're 5 minutes and 30 seconds in. We're already seeing a 2,000 gold lead from Astral. Fino K on that Ao Kuang is 2-0 this early on. That's not good.
No, and it's also not good that Wolp is so far behind in the middle lane. Despite Sheikah not getting any assists or anything like that, you see Wolp with a 400 gold deficit. And that just tells me that Sheikah's doing a much better job than him of farming the map efficiently. You can see some indecision here from the red team. They're actually going to go aggressive. There's the Bacchus ultimate and the Nem ult, but the Unstable Vortex chunks both players there. Snipe goes off, but not going to find the mark. A lot of ultimates used for nothing on the side of Astral.
I liked Plasma's self-control there. He was about to fall into a portal, but just takes one step back, doesn't use that purification out of fear, which is good. And now Most Wanted are in a pretty good spot if they want to go ahead and try and start this Gold Fury, but they know that Astral is right around the corner, and Rom coming in with the ultimate as well. The snipe's going to hit a little bit of damage, but right now, no kill potential yet. But on the right side, definite kill potential. Aquarius wants to get away before he becomes another statistic.
Just barely does. No ultimates really on the side of Most Wanted now. It's only Data Remember, who has his available, whereas you see the Ao Kuang ultimate and Left Syndrome still have that cavalry charge available. That's a good fight for Most Wanted to pick because you see Final K on the right-hand side, but not able to pull anything off, having wasted all those ultimates in the mid lane.
Why the 3-man rotation just for that? They want to go ahead and try and take any buff as well, but they're going to turn away from the speed buff, instead just running around in the jungle. What's their plan?
They can't invade the speed buff well because of the Wrath coming out of Vamana. Sanctuary Force there from Sheikah off the great pin and knockup, but now Plasma's going aggressive, but Mango's here, and
nice.
He is level 9.
Fino K taking a chunk from the raw ultimate, and now Most Wanted have their opening to take the speed buff. They're going to go ahead and back off, and now look at that blue. Mango's the only one here. He does have the Wrath, so he might be able to steal that from their stealing attempt.
No, but he's saving the Wrath right now in case there's a Gold Fury fight. I guess that's the only reason that I can think of that you'd see Mango saving the Wrath and not trying to make a play on it. But he didn't have ultimate, so if he dashes into that blue buff camp and then gets pinned and then he's got nowhere to go, that could spell trouble for him easily. Aquarius having a little bit better time boxing Mango now that he's got those Ninja Tabi online, but Mango should be finishing off that Breastplate of Valor very soon. I think I would have preferred to see him go for a Witchblade here, though, right off the bat. Keep Aquarius down. I mean, Erlang Shen relies so much on that attack speed, reducing his attack speed as well as giving you that physical protection, Plus, it would have given you a lot of protection up against Nemesis and Data Remember.
Most Wanted bringing it back a little less than 2,000 gold, but Astral's still in the lead right now. And experience-wise, about 1,500. The farming from Astral, just keeping it calm even though we're not seeing these big team fights, is insane.
I mean, we're seeing a couple people have 1-level leads. The solo laner Mango has a level on Aquarius. Then you see Shaco, mid laner, on Wolp in the middle lane. And then also Left Syndrome has a level on Nick Hero in the support.
Nicaro looking for the burp, gonna find one, but at that point, it's just to get safely back into the tower to start clearing out. How come we're not seeing these 3v3 fights over in the mid lane?
Both teams need to farm a little bit for their 3v3 fights to be effective. Guan Yu in the early game, not really great, not putting out the healing potential that you really want from him. As well as both Ra and Nemesis, not particularly strong in the early game. Ra definitely more so than Nemesis. But Ao Kwong needs to continue to farm as well.
700 gold ahead. Look at that. Mango just being diligent going through this fight in the mid lane. Hold on, nice portal, but it's not going to connect with anybody. Shaco not able to lock him down with the CC. It looked like we're going to have a fight, looked like we're going to have a play, but instead, Most Wanted back off, even though they had the numbers advantage.
Both teams have the sustain available to them. Neither team really too worried about the poke that the other can put out. You see Wolp going immediately into what I assume will be a Rod of Asclepius. Could go for the Warlock Sash here, second item, I suppose. But I really would like to see him go for the Rod instead.
Nice knock up Shaco into the Raw Ultimate, and Plasma able to just completely take him out, putting Most Wanted on the board for their first kill 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the game.
Great combination there. 3 ultimates used, all to pick off Shaco, but it's worth it. No purification, just got the Sanctuary back, and this opens up a window for Most Wanted to pull the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury already going down. It's got about half left. Cliff and Left Syndrome are here, though. Here comes the Horse, looking to try to stun out Wolp, who's not really going to be able to get away too much, but here comes the rest of the team. Most Wanted looking for the pick, but at that point, they leash the Gold Fury, and Cliff still finds Nicaro. Plasma able to take out Left Syndrome, and there goes the taunt, and then the heal coming up from Aquarius in a couple of seconds.
Cliff very low right now. Through Space and Time is fired, but doesn't find anyone, and here's the strength of Rob. Dropping that Solar Blessing, a little bit off the mark for where they want to be, but there's the pin directly into Cliff. He's going to fall to Plasma.
Even game with the kills, and now Gold Fury is still available. However, Most Wanted going to back off. They got 2 kills. They got 2 kills out of that, and at that point, that's worth.
Yeah, Plasma boxing Final K here on these left-hand Harpies, getting the better of him for now. Shaco comes by after warding that Gold Fury, but the lead that Final K got for himself in the early game has been completely negated. Now it's Plasma sitting at 3-0.
Here comes the big baby. Aquarius gonna take out and then get taken out himself by Final K, furthering the dragon. Mango coming out of the big baby form. Data Remember has no mana, gonna get slowed by the umbrella, but Nick Haro with the nice burp, gonna stun him out.
Yeah, so this lead is completely gone for Final K. I can't believe how quickly it kind of dissipated. It's Plasma does get all the first 3 kills for Most Wanted. He gets the last hits on all 3, but still, Final K did such a great job in the first 3 minutes of putting pressure on that solo lane, and then he's just been farming. He hasn't been using that advantage that he got whatsoever, whereas Plasma has been doing the same, but he didn't have an advantage to push. He's been biding his time, waiting for the right opportunities, and the right opportunities have been now. All of a sudden, he's 3-0, and even, in fact, a little bit ahead in gold of Final K.
If you blinked, you missed it, but there he is, 4-4, read the kills, 11 minutes and 36 seconds in. The lead that Astral had's been pretty much negated. It's only a little bit of gold, and at that point, I wouldn't even call that a lead. So looking really good for Most Wanted, who were looking like they were about to get shut out by Astral.
Most Wanted looks to me like they're playing as a better team than Astral right now. You see the combinations of Nick Hero and Wolp and Plasma in the mid lane killing off Shaco. The rotations coming in from Aquarius have looked good. The baits on Gold Fury have looked very organized overall for Most Wanted. So I've been impressed with their overall team play thus far. They're going to keep that. They're going to want to keep that up if they want to continue to push this comeback.
Astral feels like a bunch of good players on their favorite gods, but it's just not connecting. It's not meshing yet. We're not seeing that synergy that we saw 7 weeks ago, just with the week after week after week of consistent playing.
I'd agree with that. It definitely does feel like they're just playing their gods, you know, all in the same game together, and whether or not they're going to work as a team doesn't seem to be as important to them as it does for Most Wanted. That's what you usually see out of teams that kind of surprise people. They don't have the recognizable names. It's like, how do they win? It's because they work better as a team than you do. And while Astral has the bigger names in the Challenger Cup scene, at least, I mean, Cliff, Shaco, Final K, These are guys that have been around for a while, but Aquarius actually going to get ganked in the solo lane, uses the meditation, but it's not going to matter. FidoK finally shows back up on the map and picks up his 4th kill.
I was going to say, we talked about him a lot in the early game, and he completely disappeared. But while everything is happening on the right side, that's 2 people that are not going to be here for this Gold Fury fight, which more than likely going to go to Most Wanted, able to secure it for themselves. Nikaro looking for the follow-up, using the Intoxicate to get Cliff, and he's going to pop into the air. Nikaro taken down with 2 shots.
Cliff looking really good right now, 2-1 and 0, both kills coming via the snipe. Sheikah almost stole that Gold Fury along with Left Syndrome. That was really close. Most Wanted are able to secure it, but they lose Nikaro in the process, and now they're going to get their middle lane tower pushed down.
They lose a lot of pressure because that Bacchus is gone. Plasma trying to take up as much as it can with the Retribution, but it's still not going to be enough because once again, we got 4 members here on Astral looking at this tower still. Even though the minions are cleared, there's plenty. There's enough for the tier 1 tower to fall.
Not only to get that tier 1 tower there, but they get the purification out of Wolf off a nice portal from Sheikah. So now this opens up an opportunity for FidoK to come in and make a play onto that Raw. He's going to get that 2nd relic online as soon as he backs. He has hit level 12. But still, the Sanctuary being forced for the execute puts you in a great spot as a team.
I like the fact that Astral recognized we have to do something after this Gold Fury. We didn't get it ourselves, so at that point, they've got 2 towers down from Most Wanted. So that's still gold on the table for Most Wanted if they want to take them out. But Astral trying to bring this game back into their favor.
I like the Ansile pickup here from Plasma, getting himself some magical protection as well as using that effect is going to be really helpful here. Having that silence on as the passive on this item is going to help out up against Ao Kuang. He's not going to be able to execute you up close, whatever that active kind of goes off, basically. It's also going to be good up against Sheikah with that magical damage, but I'd still like to see at least 1 runic shield on the side of Most Wanted, shutting down both the magical power and the attack speed of the enemy ADC, or of the enemy mid laner and jungle.
I'm liking the priority that I'm seeing coming out from Most Wanted. Now they're looking at these camps, they're looking at these small objectives. Astral had that on point early on, but now we're not really seeing it from them as much as Most Wanted, peeking around, trying to get these timers and start that up, because that's how they're going to continue to keep this lead.
We haven't seen Mango use this Wrath aggressively whatsoever. Now Left Syndrome hops on the horse, gets a double stun right off the bat, but taunt is missed there from Aquarius. I was expecting it through space and time to come through, but we never saw it. FidoK gets ulted by Nemesis, but no follow-up whatsoever.
Not at all. Now we're going to see the pin go ahead and back off, and Astral pushed back into their tower. Nikaro going to find the burp, but not going to be able to jump away with the cripple on himself.
Now it's going to be Wolf just dropping the heal, letting everyone heal up. Mango pushing forward a little bit, getting some poke, but now he's going to get belly flopped.
Oh,
There's
no.
the Intoxicated big. Execute's available, and he gobbles up Nikaro.
Nikaro is gone, and the rest of the team is backing off because of it. Aquarius getting pinched between 4 members
Great
and a
snipe.
big baby. The snipe is good, but it's not enough to take anybody out. So instead, Astral able to turn what wasn't a nice situation into their favor, and now aggress on this tier 2.
5 members still healthy thanks to the heals from Left Syndrome. Cliff going to be able to knock this tower down fairly quickly. Left Syndrome still just being there as the heal bot that Guan Yu likes to be. Tier 2 tower is still up, guys. Still got to hit that a couple more times. There we go. Now we got it.
Just somebody go sneeze on it. Cliff does not have any mana, but at this point, they're going to be able to get away just fine. The slow going to be able to hit 2 on the way back just to keep Data Remember and Plasma at bay. However, they didn't have enough time to take the buff.
Really greedy by FidoK to sneak his head around the corner and try and steal that away again, but looks like he won't get punished for it quite yet. Though Plasma does have his ultimate, it looks like Most Wanted may try and chase this out, but instead they're going to let the rest of Astral back.
They want to bully. They don't want to go in too deep. They don't want to lose any chance that they have of getting back into this. They just want to back off, maybe throw a couple of abilities out just to stop them from backing, waste their time.
Exactly. They don't want to waste their own time by chasing kills. That's not what you want to do at this stage in the game. You're down 3,000 gold right now. A couple of kills. The experience difference is starting to show up a little bit yet again. You see in the solo lane, again 1 level, mid lane a level, support 1 level, just like it was before. It's 3,000 experience and a little over 3,000 gold, like I mentioned. So if you're Most Wanted, this is the time where you just have to spread out and farm the map. You have to continue to try and get yourself towards your late game items, which is where you're going to be able to compete with the damage of Astral Authority.
And that's why we see these wards. That's why we see them poking around, trying to get the timers on these little objectives. Take their own camps as well, but fine, okay. Moving towards the left side with haste. Wants to lock down Data. Remember, who's going to come right around the corner and face-to-face with the Dragons. Airstrike going to be good, and Cliff going to hop into the air looking for the snipes.
Not going to be able to find the kill, even if he were to hit all three. No relics force there, except for Cliff's Purification. There's the Nemesis ultimate a little bit late. Cliff able to roll out of the belly flop just in time. Through space and time, brings a rotation for both Sheikah and Left Syndrome.
And the cavalry's here. Let's go ahead and listen in as we get the aggression going.
Look at Buckus! He's load! I got Heavenly 3, Heavenly 3, we can go! I got Heavenly, we're Heavenly! How many times? We get that. We're healed up, push the tower, push the tower!
I'm out of mana, do we have a med?
Nah. Jingwei's ulted
I have no mana.
I throw my execute up.
Jingwei has no ult.
I took a lot of damage, Careful. Look at him. Careful. Knock her up. Nice. I see next key range, but can we keep going? Yeah. I feel up in 4. They're still down for a while, we're fine. Hey. Early my head TP. Early gets heavy.
We got a gold fairy. We got a gold fairy.
We back.
Back and get ready for both objectives. They can easily get either objective.
I'm centering over the wall.
Hey, make sure they don't get gold. Make sure they don't get gold.
I don't think they can. How long on Giannis though?
25.
I'm not gonna, I can't really stay. That's the only problem. No, we're fine. Just get out of the base as fast as you can.
I think someone should
Get out
check
of the base,
down.
Yeah, get out of base.
Oh.
No, Mango, do you have hog? They're starting it. They're pulling it.
You can have
hog.
You have a hog.
10.
You have a hog. No, I don't have hog. No hog.
They don't have hog.
I have a hog.
They don't have hog.
I'm coming.
Oh wait.
We have to go. We got They reset. They reset. That's all we need. My execute's back up.
When's your hog up?
65. My execute is up. Yes, my execute is up. I'm warding down here.
Can I start it?
Yeah.
They're coming in. They're coming in.
Do we have hog?
We can look at Buckus.
No,
We don't. Do we have anything for Buckus? I'm trading. He's gonna have to jump out. He's gonna have to jump out or he's gonna die. I don't have my pink up. I quit. They're not throwing me in inside. Careful, guys.
I'm still
Heal
having
up.
gold.
He's really low. Where's your hog at? We can leave. We're doing hog. Take a look at Buckus. I'll put mana out. Yeah, we're good. Yo, I stunned the backline. I got him. He's dead. Nick is low. Help Cliff when he lands. He's low.
I died.
Oh, you died?
Look at the Jingwei.
Oh, I died at Retribution.
Can we just go on it? Can we go back on it?
That's her Aegis.
I'm coming out slow.
Get it.
She can drop out. Oh.
Watch out.
Okay, circle. You go.
Nemesis is
Your
dead.
hog, get me go. Hog, yeah. I hog. Okay. I'm gonna start it. She can't get that. We don't have to worry about them doing fire if we hog it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That was Astral taking 7 lives, a tier 1 tower, the Gold Fury in that Steel Series listening.
Yeah, that was chaotic. That's the best word I have for what those comms sounded like. You can tell how excited these players are to be here at LAN for the first time and competing for the chance to go to the North American Gauntlet, where they'll have their work cut out for them. Whoever wins, the North American Gauntlet as a whole looks incredibly strong, but so do Astral Authority, sitting up 7,500 gold, 10,000 experience at the 21-minute mark.
And it's all right to make these little mistakes. The comms were a little scattered, but they were still able to work through it and get the objectives that they wanted. They lost a couple of lives in the process, but overall, that was a huge win for them. And that was a very long, drawn-out engagement from one corner of the map to the Gold Fury to another corner.
I think my favorite part was Mango saying, I don't have hog, and then someone going, okay, do we have hog?
Huh.
No, we don't have hog.
Nope.
I only said it 10 times.
No hog available, and no room for the sarcasm quite yet in the comms, but I'm sure they'll be ribbing each other about that later on.
Yeah.
Camp's going to go down to Most Wanted, still trying to stay into this game, but we are going to see a little bit of a Fire Giant action right now. Cliff dishing out the damage, Left Syndrome trying to zone as best he can, but at this point they're going to go ahead and leash it because Most Wanted is here. They want to contest.
Mango does have the Wrath available. He didn't use it on the Gold Fury, but the snipe from Wolf is going to cause them problems if they try and pull the Fire Giant.
Exactly, so they go ahead and back off, clear up, get these minion waves up so that's more pressure onto Most Wanted. If you ignore these, you're gonna lose towers. And then at that point, it could be a tower, it could be a Phoenix. These little mistakes add up to big objectives.
I like the decision to push the tier 2 tower here. No reason to kind of get risky on this Fire Giant. Let's keep our lead, let's push it, and get even more gold in our pockets. 1,500 gold right now would allow a lot of Astral to finish some important items. Obsidian Shard on the way for Sheikah. You see tier 2 crit completed for Cliff. If he's able to finish that off, it's gonna really help a Fire Giant push.
Now, my question is, where has Wolp been this entire game? I don't think we've talked about him once.
He's had a couple decent snipes, but he's really been focused on the healing. Just the ability of Astral's composition to really get in the face of Wolp makes it difficult for him to do what he wants. We were talking about that during the draft. Giannis just does so well at making it raw uncomfortable.
Exactly, and that healing is what's going to keep Most Wanted available and push Astral out, because it's still going to do some decent damage, especially if you use it as a zoning tool. So Mango looking for the shot, not going to be able to find it, but it's enough to keep Astral at bay.
Fine, okay, looking to be a little bit aggressive here. You can see when we looked at those healing charts, even though Wolp has been doing a good job healing with that Rod of Asclepius, it's actually Left Syndrome on this Guan Yu, who's got 6,000 more healing. Wolf's at 10K, but you see Left Syndrome about 16K.
And they're doing good. Mango over in the left, or in the mid lane, just soloing Nikaro, but Final K gonna come in with the blink, miss the damage, but force out the ultimate. That's gonna be a huge team fight. Ultimate gone for Most Wanted. Astral have a lot more room now.
Plus the sprint from Nikaro as well. Now they're gonna be looking at Cliff. He's getting low. Snipe is perfect. Data, remember, erases 2 off the map.
Able to find 2 and still looking for more. Mango backing off. Final K backing off. Most Wanted able to amass a decent defense. You see Sheikah use the portal into the completely wrong direction.
They knew he was coming there.
No.
Most Wanted get 3 for nothing now. 9 to 15. You can see the immediate spike down in both gold and experience, and they're going to get even more. They're going to be able to push both of these towers on the right-hand side.
They have all of these towers still available. That's so much gold that's going to be able to still be picked up by Most Wanted. So at this point, they could still essentially tie up this game because there's so much left for them because they haven't been able to take anything.
There was the snipe from Wolp there, showing up big on the Cliff. Cliff just gets way too poked out and then gets pinned by Erlong directly in the snipe from Wolp. Data Remember is able to get the kill, as well as pick up Left Syndrome, who was standing right next to his Hunter trying to help him out. And then Sheikah, just no reason to be where he is. He's on the right-hand side, up by the blue buff, thinking that he can, cheekily portal himself out. But the entirety of Most Wanted is waiting for him in the jungle on the other side. Just no reason to get that poked out of your Cliff, and no reason to be holding his hand as Left Syndrome. I know you want to help him out. I know you want to give him the heals, but don't get that close, because if you both get hit by abilities like they did, you instantly lose a team fight.
Exactly, and these team fights are still going, most of all, in favor of Astral. There's a couple that are going for Most Wanted, but we're seeing the damage being pumped out by Astral, and it's pretty astronomical. Looking at it, 19,000, almost 20,000 coming out from Vamana. We haven't really seen him a lot, and then when it comes to these lands, it's like he just showed up overnight.
He's been dominant, basically. I mean, winning a ton of games yesterday on the PC side and looking good here today. On top of the damage charts, 0-0 and 13. He's been a part of 13 of Astral's 15 kills out of the solo lane. That's something you don't always see.
Exactly, and Final K doing numbers as well with 14,000, but I'm liking his rotations. He's level 18. We saw a little bit of the mid game where he just kind of faltered. We didn't really talk about him a lot, but now we're seeing him in every fight. He's being a part. He's pumping out the damage. He's finding these clutch executes.
He definitely is. Sitting at 7-1 right now. Pretty high on the damage charts as well. Usually you see Ao Kuangs have stat lines like 7-1, but then their damage is a little bit lower because of their single target nature. But Final K doing a good job of pumping out the DPS. And I love the Magi's pickup here, by the way, by the support Bacchus. There's not a whole lot of hard CC on this composition for Astral. We talked about it earlier. It's really just the knock-up from Vamana, the stun from Cavalry Charge, and the portal will take, and the execute from Ao Kuang as well. Those are the only CCs that are going to take that Magi's Blessing away, which means it's going to be a lot harder for Final K to get that execute off on him.
Final K popped a ward down, waited for Aquarius to come over so he can try and solo him, but it wasn't enough damage, and Aquarius able to get away just fine. But I liked that setup. They're keeping in mind they still want to find these little picks. They don't want to get into these big team fights where it may not go in their favor.
I like the build overall from Aquarius, but still lacking a runic shield on the side of Most Wanted. Really effective up against Ao Kuang by reducing his magical damage and his attack speed.
Wow.
All the while, by the way, Data Remember soloing the Gold Fury on the left-hand side.
Wow. There it is, 27 minutes, 2,000 extra gold going in favor of Most Wanted, bringing the gold difference down to 1,700. If it's below 2,000, it doesn't even count. There's no lead gold-wise for either team right now.
No, and Data Remember is the guy I'm looking at right now. How is he going to be able to do? Now it's going to be Cavalry Charge in the back line. They're looking at Raw. Data Remember pops the ultimate to try and get there. Final K is going deep, but he's not going to find it. Plasma finds the kill.
Going deep and going down. Now Aquarius looking for some damage as well. Uses the taunt, able to heal right back up. Cliff popping the Sanctuary just to try and get out. The backflip is going to be good, and into the sky he goes looking for these shots. Aquarius is the target, but only one is going to hit. Nicaro able to erase him.
Most Wanted's won every team fight in the late game. 2 for 0 again. Data Remember top of the damage charts right now, looking excellent. Final K and Left Syndrome both try to dive deep onto Wolf, but you saw Data Remember immediately turns around and pops the ultimate, trying to get back to him.
The only win that I saw coming out from Astral in that team fight is they were able to burn both of Wolf's relics. He has no Sanctuary, he has no Purification, so he's literally a sitting duck right now. But at this point, Most Wanted don't care. They want to take this spot and go as far as they can with the Nemesis ultimate coming through. Mango taking a lot of damage. Snipe not going to be able to knock him out, but they may be able to find it with Plasma's help.
Plasma able to find it as the rest of Most Wanted take down that middle Phoenix. Left Syndrome going really deep right now, looking to get the kill. Sheikah forced to use a Sanctuary to try and step up and help his support. And we talked about it earlier, Most Wanted just play so much better as a team than Astral are right now. It's Astral trying to make these individual plays. It's Final K going really deep to try and find Wolf. It's Cliff taking a ton of damage and then trying to find the snipes. Whereas Most Wanted are just working together as a unit. They're peeling for each other really, really well.
We're seeing the peel, we're seeing the wombo combo, we're seeing everything that you'd want to see in a winning Challengers Cup team. Now, like we mentioned, nobody really expected them to make it this far, but they're showing just exactly why they deserve to be here against this top-seeded Challengers Cup team.
And you mentioned it whenever we were talking about it off camera, how Most Wanted got here. And in their 5-game set up against Relegation Rejects, they just wait it out. They wait out till the late game, and then they make the plays whenever the other team makes a mistake. And that's exactly what they've done so far here today. Just waited for Astral to make individual mistakes in team fights and punish them for it.
It's capitalization. Relegation Rejects pushing down their last Phoenix. They were looking for it. It looked like it was going to be that set going to the other team. They were able to find a wipe, and then Most Wanted come in with the win. They come in clear, and that's why they're here.
Definitely showing that they deserve to be here right now. Sending up 4,000 gold on Astral Authority and made an unbelievable comeback. Still down 3 kills, but they're not worried about that whatsoever. The problem is they've got a lot of members in base right now, and Astral Authority should just be doing the Fire Giant. They're looking to fight when they shouldn't be.
Nicaro jumping away, keeping them busy right now through space and time. Going to be good, forcing out the ultimate from Jingwei. Cliff in the skies, looking for the target. Instead, going to whiff too, able to find a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough.
But none of that damage is relevant because of the healing from Ra. They're just going to drop the Solar Blessing and hang out in it. You can see the healing from Ra right now, 22,000. He's surpassed Left Syndrome now.
If they had not fought, would they have been able to take that Fire Giant?
Yes. I mean, there were only 2 members there. You could see how far away most of Most Wanted was. The Fire Giant was dropping very low, but they just assumed that everyone from Most Wanted was going to be there. You could see the lack of ward coverage deep into Most Wanted's jungle means that Astral doesn't have the information necessary to make the right call.
And Astral were doing great with their vision earlier on in the game. I was praising them for it, talking about how they knew exactly where Aquarius was, watching his plays because he's done a very good job of being the playmaker, being the person that sets the pace of this game once he got into his rotations. But now we're not seeing it.
Well, whenever you lose the gold lead, you're starting to lose team fights, you start buying a lot less wards because you're more worried about getting your items online to win the next team fight. It always happens. The team is always, whenever they've got a gold lead, it's real easy to ward. Whenever you're down in gold is when it's difficult to ward well and ward in the right spots.
Nice pin, but it is onto the tanky Guan Yu. Left Syndrome not going to have much HP fall at all. Fire Giant is still going, and at this point, they're going to leash it too. Most Wanted not going to keep it going, instead opting to fight. Somebody is in execute range, but not in range of Final K. 4 members on him currently,
Good
looking
snipe.
for a while, but the nice snipe gonna rip through the team. 2 are down, and now Final K is gonna be able to get away.
He's so low. Snipes coming in from Cliff, not gonna be enough to find the kill. Aquarius still boxing out. Sheikah looking for Plasma. In the jungle, the dash gonna get Plasma just out of range. Sheikah should let this go. Go help your team on the right-hand side.
Final K needs to go away too. He's so low. Nicaro, all he has to do is just jump upon him, but he is kept busy right now with Left Syndrome, although they're not really doing any damage to each other.
No, and Cliff's doing a speed buff. I mean, this team is just so broken up. Sheikah finally shows up and hits a portal and gets some damage on a Nicaro, but now Fine OK backing means they can't use this advantage to push onto the Fire Giant. Now everyone has to back.
A little bit of a whiff.
Just not. You see it there. You see it there in both these teams. They're so close.
Cliff.
Now Cliff gets caught lazy backing behind the wall. He's got no mana.
Neither does Left Syndrome, who wants to try and peel, but Cliff is going to be able to get away. Nicaro going to back off. Aquarius is still very dangerous, but we are going to see Left Syndrome back off and start to back. But Aquarius finally backing off because Sheikah is there.
Sheikah's here, but so Data Remember is almost here as well. It's going to be Most Wanted pulling off of the Fire Giant, but not going to be able to find enough damage to force out the enemy team. Nicaro taking a lot of poke in return, but Mango's pinned, knocks up to clear the path, and there's a Nemesis ultimate forced into the Big Baby.
Big Baby gonna be able to just run away at this point. That is gonna be, it's a dash. Gonna go through. Fine OK is Fine OK again, but he's cutting it so close. There's been so many times that I've been worried he's gonna die because he's sticking around too long. He's gonna find a nice safe spot, but meanwhile that opens up the right side of the map for Most Wanted.
Is Nicaro chasing Fine OK right now?
Yes.
Both these teams have so many, they're so close, and then they do things that are just like classic, like don't do this sort of things. Chasing kills, doing buffs while your team is fighting, not working together as a team, trying to play too much like an individual. Both these teams have so much talent and it's so apparent, but they've just got to work on the little things.
Most Wanted leash the Fire Giant, and now Astral looking at it as well. This time it may not be leash they're looking for it. Most Wanted going to be able to take it from them, and now Left Syndrome on the run.
Mango gets insta-killed by Data Remember. The taunt from Aquarius, not going to find anyone. It's going to be Sheikah forced to disengage his team with Through Space and Time, but that's a free kill and a free Fire Giant for Most Wanted. Awesome contention there from them. It looked like it was going to be Astrals, but they're pulling it when they don't have the Wrath up. Mango, I don't know if he didn't have the Wrath or if he got knocked up, but just not able to secure it.
Nice pin, gonna force out 2 purifications. The jump gonna be good, Intoxicate gonna be better, and Sheikah barely getting out by the skin of his teeth. Meanwhile, the Phoenix is still going down. It is gone, stick a fork in it, and now Left Syndrome forced to dash away.
That's 2 Phoenixes down on the side of Astral Authority. It's only 2 towers and the Phoenix remaining on the left-hand side, and that's where Most Wanted's gonna be heading.
Fine, okay, gonna try to clear out. There's so many fire minions that are barreling down this lane, and their hands are tied. They can't go toe-to-toe with Most Wanted in the jungle because they have to watch the mid and now the right side.
It's just going to be really difficult for Astral. The thing is, though, is that if they can find a deicide cleanly, they do have that middle Phoenix exposed for Most Wanted. They could go directly for that Phoenix and try and end the game. The respawn timers now at 35 minutes are going to be long enough that if you still have characters like Ao Kuang, Rom, Guan Yu to heal them up, you're going to be able to go for the win if they're able to find a clean team fight. But the way these team fights have been going, I really don't see that happening.
Both these teams have been in this situation before. It's why both of their sets went to 5 games. Most Wanted going to push this lead as far as they can. Tier 1 tower going to fall very quickly on the left side. So both of these teams know how to play from ahead and know how to play from behind. So it's this delicate push and pull.
But it's looking pretty delicate on the balance right now for Astral. Most Wanted still does have some wiggle room with how many structures they still have up. Both Phoenixes down. This is the last structure remaining for Astral Authority. They can't give it up. And
these team fights have not been going in their favor. Gonna have nice stun on the Wallop in the back line, but no follow-up. The snipe not gonna connect. Fine OK. Gonna be Fine and OK Cliff. Intoxicated, not able to hit these shots. Instead, pops into the ultimate, looking for Wallop in the back line. Ooh. The last hit not going to connect, and Sheikah gonna lose his life. First to fall. Now Data Remember chasing the rest of the members into their fountain. Finds Left Syndrome. No matter the healing, Fine OK picks up Wolf, but I don't know if it's gonna matter here. Probably not. They're still getting aggressive. They're looking for this Titan. It's falling fast, about half HP now. But Cliff and Mango trying to make order of the situation, but instead, Order Titan is going to fall in the first game. Going to go to Most Wanted. I mean, that looked like it was Astral's game to lose, and it really was. I mean,